Let's get more now on the claims of abuse in Hollywood, as two former child actors have told Sky News how they were molested by Hollywood paedophiles. The documentary An Open Secret details the experiences of 5 child actors who were exploited at the hands of industry predators. It was eventually posted online 2 years ago after apparently being rejected by major film and television distributors. In a moment, we're going to hear from one of the movie's producers. First, here is one of the accounts from that documentary.
He would talk to me while he was doing it and say, this is nothing to worry about, Don't be scared, it's completely normal. I remember being scared, and I remember him saying, come on, think about a girl that you really like. Think about a girl that you really like.
A short while ago, I spoke to Gabe Hoffman, one of the film's producers, started by asking him why he thought no one within Hollywood would distribute that movie.
We had all the ingredients for an amazing documentary film, and after watching it, I knew we had an amazing one. We uncovered secrets in Hollywood. We unmasked a pedophile who was one of the most prominent child actors and scouts in Hollywood the last 30, 40 years. An Oscar-nominated director, Amy Berg, who had exposed pedophilia in the Catholic Church and Deliver Us from Evil. Full-budget documentary, and the professional critics loved it. 93% positive rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Despite all that, Hollywood blocked us from film festivals, and they refused to distribute the film. So we just waited our time for a Harvey Weinstein moment like this.
So that's behind your decision to release it in the last week or so, free for everyone to look at online?
Absolutely, and we've had over 3 million views in just those 2.5 weeks. The American people and the international public across the pond and all over the world are speaking that this is a story they want to be told. The internet is one thing that Hollywood doesn't control, and they're responding just as the professional film critics did.
So going back to that first question, why do you think you hit a brick wall the first time round?
Well, it's pretty obvious. Our film, despite having all these credentials and quality, obviously doesn't make the industry look very good.
Is the culture within the industry the main reason why people are so scared to speak out? The power of Hollywood, and specifically with things like legal teams that can go for accusers?
There are a number of things in the system, particularly in Hollywood, that really stack the deck against the accuser. We show a couple of them in our film. For example, a juvenile who decides to report their abuser by recording them, and there aren't very many tools a juvenile has to truly catch an accuser. For some reason, that's not admissible in court in the state of California. We also show in our film that the reward or the punishment for the predator in the state of California is absolutely a miscarriage of justice. They have no mandatory minimum sentences whatsoever. So one victim survivor in our film shows that he got his accuser to admit on tape multiple counts, and he ended up serving only 6 months.
Moving on to this more widely and in Hollywood, is there any system of protection for children within the film industry in Los Angeles? Is there anything, is there anything to make sure people are checked before they work with children?
Well, you'd have to ask the major studios, but when we see, for example, a convicted pedophile in Victor Salva directing the whole Jeepers Creepers franchise and Jeepers Creepers 3, which just came out in 2017, and then we see that on a major cable network just this week, or we see other convicted pedophiles like Brian Peck working on projects like Charlie Sheen's hit TV show Anger Management, the children's film show Jack and the Beanstalk, after his pedophile conviction. The studios obviously aren't doing the simple thing that you or I would do in private industry of a $20 or $30 internet background check of anybody you hire. So Hollywood hasn't stepped up to the plate. It's just astonishing, and it's one of the reasons why we made our film.
But it sounds, final question, it sounds as though, there needs to be a better system internally within studios, but also the legislation, you're saying, in terms of Washington, needs to be much stronger?
Well, in the United States, child sex abuse is not a federal crime. It's administered by the states, and the states set their own rules and their own laws, and it happens to be that in the state of California, they're clearly absolutely atrocious. Victor Salva raped and taped molesting a 12-year-old boy on the film that he was directing. He served 15 months in jail. It's clear that the laws in the state of California don't reflect what the public believes to be fair punishment for child sex abuse. I'm sure your sentences in the UK are much stiffer.